All right, so are you ready to like learn English at home? I mean, like ditch the classroom and learn it from your couch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty ambitious goal, right?
It is.
But we're going to dive into a whole bunch of tips and tricks today that are going to like turn your living room
Into a full-on English.
yeah, into an English learning powerhouse.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
I like that.
And you know what? There's so much advice out there
I know there's so much.
that it can be really overwhelming.
It can.
So that's why we're here, just to cut through all the noise and just really try to uncover the strategies that'll make the biggest difference.
Yeah. And you know what? We found some really good ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like from really simple things to some pretty high-tech AI stuff.
Cool.
I'm actually surprised by some of this stuff. Like, did you know that using sticky notes can help you learn English?
Sticky notes.
Yeah, sticky notes.
That sounds a little too good to be true.
I know, right?
But there's this really cool psychological reason why they work. So basically, when you label things around your house with those little sticky notes,
With the English word?
with the English words,
Okay.
it's called the testing effect. So every time you see that sticky note on like your fridge, you're basically quizzing yourself
Oh, right.
and you're reinforcing that word fridge in your memory.
So you're saying it's like turning your entire house into flashcards.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm already thinking about all the words I can learn just by like walking from my bedroom to the kitchen.
That's great.
But you know what? Wouldn't it just be easier to switch like all my devices to English?
So like full immersion.
Yeah, like everything.
You know, I think immersion is really important, but doing it all at once?
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's like a shock to the system.
Right.
Especially if you're just starting out.
Yeah,
It can actually make you frustrated and then you just quit.
that makes sense.
So you got to find a balance between challenging yourself but also like staying comfortable.
Right. I get that.
So maybe start with just like your phone. Okay.
Just change the language on your phone and see how that feels.
All right, so like baby steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, speaking of diving in, our source actually talks a lot about using media to learn English.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they actually specifically mention sitcoms like Friends.
Okay.
And I gotta say, that sounds way more fun than
Then like studying grammar.
than studying grammar or like memorizing verb conjugations.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right.
You know, sitcoms are great because they give you a real glimpse into how people actually talk.
Yeah, like everyday language.
Yeah, everyday language. You know, think about it. You're not just passively watching.
Right.
You're actually absorbing how native speakers interact.
Yeah, that's true.
You pick up on slang, you get exposed to different accents.
And they talk kind of fast.
Yeah, they do.
So is there anything we can do about that?
You know what can really help?
What?
Subtitles.
Oh, yeah, subtitles.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because it bridges the gap between what you hear and what you understand.
Yeah.
It's like training wheels for your ears.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually learned a lot of Spanish back in the day just through music.
Really?
Yeah, I would like listen to the same songs over and over again and just try to sing along.
That's awesome.
Hey, did you think that music can actually be a good way to learn English?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Music is amazing because it like embeds itself in your brain.
Right.
And the melody and the rhythm help you remember words and phrases without even trying.
So it's like sneaking in some vocabulary practice while just jamming out to your favorite tunes.
Exactly.
Okay, so we got sticky notes turning our homes into language labs.
Yeah.
We got sitcoms turning us into like, conversationalists.
True.
And music rewiring our brains with all this vocabulary.
Yeah, that's right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But what about actually speaking English out loud? I feel like that's where I get stuck.
Yeah, that's a common one.
Yeah.
But there are ways to work on that even at home.
Okay.
Believe it or not, one of the best ways is to talk to yourself.
Talk to myself.
Yep.
Okay.
In the mirror.
In the mirror.
Yeah.
That sounds intense.
I know.
I mean, I talk to myself sometimes.
when no one's watching.
Yeah, when no one's around.
So just think of the mirror as a friendly audience.
Okay.
It's there to help you practice.
Okay.
It's just about getting comfortable saying your thoughts out loud in English.
Okay.
Even if it feels a little silly at first,
Right.
the more you do it, the smoother you'll become and the more confident you'll be.
Right. So it's like a dress rehearsal
Yeah.
for real conversations.
Exactly.
Okay, I can see that.
And speaking of practice, there's another technique called shadowing
Shadowing.
that's incredibly powerful for pronunciation and fluency.
I've heard of that, but I don't really know what it is.
It sounds kind of intimidating,
It does sound kind of scary.
but it's actually really easy.
Okay.
So you just listen to a native English speaker,
Okay.
like in a podcast or an audiobook.
Okay.
And then you try to copy their pronunciation and their intonation.
Like as close as I can.
Yeah, as closely as you can.
So I'm like their shadow. I
Yeah.
like that. That's a good visual.
It is.
Oh.
So it's like a vocal workout for your English skills.
Okay.
And it's not just about mimicking the sounds.
Right.
It's about training your brain to process and then reproduce the rhythm and the flow of like natural English.
Oh, wow. So like how English is really spoken.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's like taking my listening skills and turning them into like actual speaking practice.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
So our source also mentions things like language learning apps and online communities.
Oh, yeah.
I've tried some of those before, but honestly, I get distracted pretty easily.
Yeah.
Are they actually like worth the effort?
You know, they can be really valuable,
Okay.
especially for someone like you who likes interacting with people.
Right.
So just imagine you have access to all these structured lessons.
Okay.
You get personalized feedback,
Right.
and you can even connect with other learners from all over the world. Oh, wow. That's cool.
I know.
And it's all like right there on your phone or your computer.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that'd be really motivating,
Yeah.
especially connecting with other learners.
Yeah.
Because you know they understand what you're going through.
Exactly.
So it's like you're not alone.
Right.
It's like a built-in support system
Totally.
for those moments when you just feel like giving up.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about reading.
Oh, yeah. Reading's huge.
Yeah, books, articles, blogs, they're
Mhm.
all full of opportunities to learn new words
Yeah.
and like absorb the grammar naturally.
Right.
I've always loved to read,
Me too.
but I never really thought about it as a way to learn English.
Yeah.
I kind of just like skim over words. I don't know.
I do that too sometimes.
Yeah. So is there anything we can do to make reading more of an active learning experience?
Yeah, definitely.
Like what?
So instead of skimming over those words,
Yeah.
try to actually engage with them.
So like highlight the words you don't know, look them up, write them down,
Okay.
and then try to use them in your own sentences.
So it's like taking those words from the page and making them like part of my everyday vocabulary.
Exactly.
I-
It's like turning reading into a treasure hunt for new
I
words.
love that.
It's fun.
And what about reading out loud? Does that help?
Oh yeah, reading aloud is amazing.
Okay.
It helps with pronunciation fluency and it builds your confidence.
Okay.
It's like giving those words a voice
Yeah.
and letting them come alive.
So reading aloud is good.
It is.
Right.
And speaking of putting pen to paper,
Yeah.
have you ever thought about keeping an English journal?
I've tried journaling before,
Mhm.
but I usually just end up writing about like my day or my to-do list.
Okay.
So how would that help me with my English?
Well, you can think of it as a private space to practice the language.
Okay.
There's no pressure because no one's going to see it.
Right.
Just write about whatever comes to mind,
Okay.
even if it's just a couple sentences. The goal is to get comfortable writing your thoughts in English.
So the judgment-free zone for
Exactly.
my English.
Yeah.
I like that.
And you know, if you need a little help with grammar or sentence structure,
Yeah.
there's always tools like Grammarly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Grammarly, that's a lifesaver.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
Okay. So we've got reading out loud, we've got journaling,
Mhm.
but I got to ask about the AI stuff.
Oh, yeah.
This is the part I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
AI, chatbots, language learning apps.
Yeah,
It's also high-tech
it is.
and exciting,
Yeah.
but is it actually effective?
It's pretty amazing.
Yep.
AI is totally changing how we learn languages.
Okay.
Just imagine having a language partner
Okay.
that's available 24/7.
Wow.
And it can give you instant feedback on your grammar, pronunciation.
Right.
You can even have conversations about pretty much anything.
That's wild.
It's really cool.
So it's like having a personal tutor in my pocket.
Pretty much.
That's awesome. But you know, I'm a little skeptical.
About what?
Like, can you really become fluent just by talking to a machine?
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
You know, AI is an amazing tool,
Mm-hmm.
but we have to remember that language is more than just grammar and vocabulary.
Right.
It's about connecting with people.
Yeah.
Expressing yourself.
Right.
And understanding those subtle things that happen when people talk.
Like the nuances of conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So it's all about finding a balance between that structured practice that AI can give you
Right.
and then the real world experience of actually talking to people.
Right. Because you can't learn everything from a machine.
Exactly.
Okay.
And speaking of AI,
Yeah.
we can't forget about the voice assistants we all use.
Oh, you mean like Siri and Alexa?
Yeah, exactly.
I use Siri all the time,
Yeah.
but I never thought about using her to practice my English.
Well, you can.
Really? How?
It's super easy.
Okay.
So, like, instead of asking Siri for the weather,
Yeah.
try asking her in a British accent.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
Or you can even challenge her to a tongue twister contest.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
My Siri would probably lose.
probably.
It's a good idea, though.
Yeah, it's just about making practice fun
Yeah.
and engaging.
All right, so we've talked about turning our homes into language labs, chatting with robots,
Yep,
challenging Siri to a tongue twister battle.
that's right.
But let's be realistic here.
Okay,
Learning a new language takes work,
it does.
and it takes consistency.
Yes,
So how do we stay motivated when things get tough?
that's a great question.
Yeah, because it's easy to get excited
Mhm.
about all these new methods and tools,
Yeah,
but the hard part is keeping that momentum going.
right. And that starts with setting goals.
Okay,
Yeah,
goals.
yeah.
So like what kind of goals should we be setting?
Well, instead of aiming for this big idea of fluency,
Right.
try setting smaller goals.
Okay.
Things you can actually achieve.
So like what? Give me an example.
Like maybe try to learn 5 new words every day.
Yeah, 5 new words.
Yeah, or like have a 5-minute conversation in English.
Okay.
Or read a chapter in an English book every week.
I like that.
Yeah, just break it down into smaller steps.
It's like building a staircase to fluency,
Exactly.
one step at a time.
Yeah,
But what about those times when you just hit a wall
yeah.
and you just feel like giving up?
I think everyone feels that way sometimes.
Yeah.
How do you stay motivated for like the long haul?
Yeah.
I think motivation really comes down to remembering why you're doing it.
Like my why.
Yeah, why are you learning English?
Right.
What do you want to be able to do?
Yeah, what's the end goal?
Yeah, so like really visualize yourself achieving those goals
Okay.
and think about how awesome it's going to feel.
Right.
And, don't underestimate the power of community.
Oh yeah, like finding other people who are learning English too.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So like share your journey with other people who get it and they can support you and keep you accountable.
It's like having a cheer squad
Yeah, exactly.
for your English learning adventure.
Yeah,
I like that.
it's fun.
Yeah, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We
We've
have.
talked about sticky notes,
Right.
AI chatbots,
Mm-hmm.
setting goals,
Yeah.
finding your tribe.
It's all important.
I mean, it's clear that there are a ton of ways to learn English at home.
Yeah, there really are.
And that's what's so exciting about it.
Yeah,
There's no one right way to do it.
exactly. The key is to just experiment.
Right.
Find what works for you.
What you like.
Yeah, and make it your own.
It's like a giant buffet of language learning.
That's a great analogy.
You get to pick and choose what looks good to you.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up,
Okay.
what's the one piece of advice you would give to someone who's just starting out on their English learning journey?
That's a tough one, but I would say
Yeah.
don't be afraid to just dive in
Okay.
and start trying things out. Experiment, find what you enjoy.
Yeah.
And most importantly, have fun with it.
Have fun.
Yeah, because the more you enjoy it,
Right.
the more likely you are to stick with it.
That's such good advice.
Yeah.
Because learning a language shouldn't feel like a chore. It should feel like an adventure.
Exactly.
And remember, every step you take,
Yeah.
no matter how small,
Right.
it's bringing you closer to your goal.
That's right.
And if you're looking for more ideas or resources,
Yeah.
our source material actually mentions a bunch of great websites and podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So check those out.
Yeah, they're really helpful.
All right, so to our listener out there who's ready to conquer English from home,
Yeah.
we say go for it.
Go for it.
Embrace the challenge.
Right.
Celebrate your progress.
Yeah, celebrate the wins.
And remember, we're cheering you on every step of the way.
We are.
All right, that's it for this deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.